All right, so I was sent this document by somebody very, very happy to see it because it looks like they're trying to tell you, they're trying to admit, it looks like the Space Force is admitting, almost like Donald Trump is admitting, and finally telling us all that the Constitution, the real Constitution, is real and that there's a fake corporation that they're now dissolving. And that's what it looks like at first glance. But guess what? I've got news for you that not only is that not the case, but this document could be faked. But here's the thing. This document very well may be one of the best or biggest pieces of psychological operation, pieces of material that I've ever seen come across me, okay? Because just because this isn't necessarily real, the way it's written and whoever wrote it, the knowledge they have about the truth of what's really going on and how they've literally, it looks to the normal person or to the normal truther like they're saying what we want them to say. But I'm going to break this down and show you that the actual words they're using are not what you think. And it says some pretty extraordinary things. So apparently, this whole thing was written by Princess Diana, who's alive, and the commander of Space Force. Yes. They also claim a bunch of other things. So let's start with the first page. They actually say in this document that you can't use this document on social media or it's treason. Okay? So I'm actually using my constitutional right to voice my opinion about something that I found. So if you think that's treason, then I invoke habeas corpus before you even come to my door. So you better prepare for that. And if you don't know what habeas corpus is, if you're arrested by the military or any other place, you can invoke the right of habeas corpus. It's the writ of habeas corpus, and that actually will make them bring you to where you're from, so where you live. It'll bring you to that court system, and they have to determine in that court system that your current arrest is even constitutional or legal, right? So always remember habeas corpus. So if that's what it comes down to, let's go. Anyways, that aside, so the first thing that it says is a worldwide stand down for any mandatory vaccines. And a big thing that they like to say is that it's terrorism and that it's Nazi, etc., etc., which we all know that's true. We all know that's true. So it looks right off the bat that it's amazing. And then it says the original 1776 Constitution. And then you see President Donald J. Trump, his executive orders. And I have some bad executive orders that he actually created that worry me and that outline FEMA's empowerment, which is really weird because I guess he just took power away from FEMA. There's a bunch of contradictions here, which tells me there's a bunch of hidden hands, and it's extra complex and extra confusing, which tells me they're about to launch their thing. So anyways, I think this is actual propaganda from these people, and I think that this is meant to confuse people. So anyways, getting into this, there's crazy shit. So let's go down here. Official note to all nationwide international government agencies. Basically, this is saying that Space Force has been involved in an operation with Trump and the military secretly behind the scenes to basically save everybody, right? And it also gets into, and it says the Galactic Federation of Worlds is behind the drones as we get into this. And they're claiming all of these crazy things just right off the beginning in here. And whoever created this, right, even if it's not real, which it definitely is not real, this is treason. They're pretending to be a government agency, right? That's how you know this isn't just a normal person who did this. This is somebody who had permission to do this. This is a piece of propaganda. This is a psychological operation. So getting down here, you have Queen Diana right here is commander of the Department of Defense, right? And again, defense is spelt wrong. Okay, very weird. Earth Alliance, USSF, Space, United States Space Force, Counterterrorism, Operation Support. Okay. Over the years, we monitored all communications and collected evidence on the invisible enemy and the voting ballots. It's everything that we've wanted to hear. Space Force was able to, in live time, monitor the locations and the ballots, and they have all the evidence. They have all the evidence. That's what we've been hearing. It sounds amazing. So here's where the first red flag is. There are two powers in the U.S. So first of all, it's not the United States. It's the United States of America that we live in. The United States is the corporation, okay? And here it says the first power is military, which came first, and the second is the federal government. So why aren't they mentioning the power of the people, which is actually first, okay? That's not mentioned in here. That is the first red flag, right? They're trying to trick people. They're trying to, whoever wrote this is trying to lead people in the wrong direction. And if you haven't gone all the way down the rabbit hole of the Constitution and all of that, literally I've gone there to the point where I completely understand it and comprehend it. I've had interviews with some of the best people out here, and I get it. And when you understand that, the wording they're using is completely wrong. They're saying here that the Constitution is on pause and that the military is in control. They're saying that we're basically in a soft martial law. This would imply that we are in a martial law, which is not a good thing. Martial law suspends the Constitution, which means you have no rights anymore. Martial law is not a good thing by any means. That's literally the government taking control. This document seems to be trying to separate the military from the federal government. They are the same thing. Do not get it twisted, okay? I, for a long time, thought the government was gonna, or the military was gonna save us. I thought there was military insiders that had our back. I thought they had a plan to make this happen. I really thought they had a plan, but guess what? After getting into it all, you can see very clearly what they're doing, and I'm trying to articulate it. See, very strange here, getting down here, the Memorandum of Secretary of Defense. By the authority vested in me as the President, by the Constitution and the laws of the United States of America, okay? Including Section 301 of Title III of United States Code, I hereby delegate to the Secretary of Defense the authority and function vested in the President by Section da-da-da-da-da-da, public law, da-da-da. So basically what this is saying, right, is that they're using, they say the United States of America. Okay, that's completely different than the United States. And then they mention the United States Code, and then 3 United States Code 301 and Section 50 United States Code 15. So they're completely mashing these things together. If you're going by the United States of America Constitution, these codes are completely irrelevant and null and void right off the bat. So even saying these two things in the same sentence makes absolutely no sense. It makes no sense at all to anybody who really knows the law. It's a contradictory statement. All of this is. So now, you know, a big thing is we know that the elections are rigged, and the elections have been rigged. And we all thought for a long time, back when I was super into Q and Trump, we were waiting for him to win. And we knew he had the military football. I even went through and looked at all the inaugurations, and they were different. They were absolutely different, and I believe that it was either a psyop or they absolutely were different. And again, this goes so deep that I wouldn't blame anybody for not seeing this, right? I wouldn't blame anybody. So long story short, this goes in and this basically validates everything that we've ever believed, that Joe Biden is the wrong president. He was never actually a legitimate president. Donald Trump is a wartime president, and we're in war, we're in martial law, etc., etc. And this basically just says that everybody who's not following underneath military law is going to be arrested, will be treason, will be a traitor, and that President Donald John Trump is the commander-in-chief. And you can't revoke the fact that he's commander-in-chief. Getting through to the nitty-gritty, the important things. Look at how crazy this is. Now that I've shown you, this is a highly classified military operation overseen by Space Force and other alliances to protect we the people. So who exactly, they're saying we the people. What if they're not us and they're talking about them, right? Like, what is we the people exactly? You claim to be us, but who are you? I don't even know who you are. You're Princess Diana, really? And then they're saying, you know, President J. Trump has been your wartime president since 2016. All Trumpers are going to be so excited. If I didn't wake up to what's really going on, I'd be like, fuck yeah, this is it. I'd be sharing it, being like, I know we can't see this is real, but I'm telling you it's real. This is it. And they're saying that the 2025 presidential election was a military operation to prevent civil war. Really? And it was called the Great Awakening. And it was approved by the corrupt Congress. Really? Without going through the proper channels. And then look at this. They're playing like they know the wording that makes things legal and not legal. So since 1871, the Constitution has been approved by Congress to change the word for to of the people without going through proper channels. Therefore, they committed an act of treason. This invisible enemy of people expanded globally, which not only attacked President J. Trump, but we the people. This invisible enemy used COVID as a part of their plan to depopulate the world. This is all things that we believe, right? Right? But I'll tell you one thing for free. Changing something from for to of is not the determining factor of legally anything. It's a complete psyop. And here we go. They say the invisible enemy used advanced technology to hide behind it and used it to spy on the population with AI, artificial intelligence called Gemini. And then as you scroll down, they're saying they're going to defeat this by having a better AI, a more powerful, smart AI that will be better, right? And they're saying that this Gemini AI has been listening to us all, and that their new AI won't be listening to anybody. We are giving a direct order to uninstall immediately. Uninstall Gemini from all your businesses. The new quantum AI is much different from the previous binary code system that can be hacked. So anyways, they're trying to say this new AI cannot be hacked, right? It can't be hacked. Anything can be hacked, especially with another AI. So again, this is written so well, so complex. It's designed so perfect. This is a psyop paper. And I can guarantee you, they put those spelling errors in there on purpose because we all have word processors, right? We all have spell check, right? These words that are not spelled right, this is the perfect psychological operation. This is going to get people going. It's going to get them going. So look, blackout. Should the power go out, do not fear. Space Force is in control. We have Tesla-free energy, but we're only going to use it in an emergency. We're not going to just use the Tesla-free energy right now for you. And systems ready to boot back up with the new quantum system. Come on, come on. And you won't be charged. No worries. It's always good to have food for 15 to 30 days. And then here we go. Now they're mentioning the emergency alert system, which we all know is very nefarious. We want nothing to do with it. And they're saying, hey, it'll be sent to you automatically. You'll receive text messages. It's going to be amazing. And now they get down here into titanium dioxide, which they mention and say it's in all the vaccines, right? They don't mention any of the other chemicals, no nanotechnology, nothing else, just one specific thing, titanium dioxide. Again, this looks like a psyop. It looks like a hidden hand thing. So now people are going to be focusing on that and not the shit that's in the water or the ingredients that are in the food or anything else. Then they even mention the fog. Everybody's been questioning the fog. Well, there's titanium dioxide in the fog. Then we get down here, the drones and the UFOs, right? It basically says you have nothing to worry about. But these drones have been around for a while. They've just usually been cloaked, and now we uncloaked them so you can see. So now they're admitting in this document that they have technology in which they can go invisible now. It's being disclosed. And basically it says that the drones are part of the Galactic Federation that's been watching over this planet for a very long time, right? Okay. UFO contact. The time has come for us to show humans not fear. What? The time has come for us to show humans not fear. What does that mean? What is that? So again, there's no way this can be legitimate, right? We now can have our spaceships not only expose themselves, but to land and to make full contact. Nothing to fear. This looks like they're prepping us for the fake alien invasion. And of course, they have to mention all of the hot topics today. Immigration, deportation, right? Anybody getting in the way of that? We are under the 1776 Republic Constitution. Right? They're using all of the buzzwords. We the people. 1776. These are the buzzwords. These are the buzzwords. Those are the red flag words, to be honest with you, because those aren't actual legitimate terms that we need to know to understand what's going on. These are hidden hand buzzwords. That's how I know that this has to be written by somebody on their side, somebody super official. We the people are sovereign under God, not citizens or residents of the corporation, which are considering slaves. It's not even written right. The laws of the United States of America Corporation are null and void. See, that sentence right there is completely bullshit. The laws of the United States of America there is no the United States of America Corporation. There is the United States Corporation, and then there is the United States of America. Those are two different things. So whoever wrote this has a pretty good understanding But so that's why I think like the way this was written, legally, they're not lying to you. They're misleading you. So it's so complex it's hard to explain. But whoever wrote this knows what they're doing psychologically wise, and they know a lot about the movement. They either don't know enough or they're doing things strategically to protect themselves. It's hard to really say. It's hard to speculate. So it's basically saying that the laws of the United States of America Constitution or corporation are null and void and have no legal standing. So all lawsuits currently in effect are null and void. Okay. The judicial legal system are not legal. Does that make sense to you? And are null and void until further instruction. Like, who wrote this and why? All prisoners must be released who were arrested for growing weed. Yeah, let's just throw that in there. Birth certificates, yeah, they're a part of the Akashic Records. So are the Akashic Records actually some Vatican archive? Really? Is that what? Because I thought it was the the metaphysical records that we all have access to, which is all the information in the universe. Interesting. You learn something new every day. Here's the part where I'm going to be put away for the rest of my life for making this video. No part of this document may be reproduced or translated in any language or utilized in any form or by any means, electronic or mechanical, including social media, whoops, photocopying, recording, whoops, or by any informational storage and retrieval system without permission from the Space Force. An official human translator qualified may be used to interpret this document word for word so that information cannot be taken out of context. Any country refusing this document in its original form is committing treason and will be arrested. You're going to arrest a country? You can just arrest the country? How does that work? How does that work? Med beds! Med beds! Med beds will be here. Long story short, anybody sick with anything, you'll be cured right away. Nicera Gicera. Nicera Gicera. The quantum financial system, right? The fancy word for the prison structure and the removal of anything feasible. And they're saying that basically everything digital the bankers have been using to manipulate us, but they want their own blockchain digital version that they say is safe. I still consider myself a Trump supporter, but like, but not a Trump supporter. It's very weird. But I can't picture one of us writing this. It just doesn't make sense. Just doesn't make sense. Yada, 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 yada. This is saying right here, all existing pending court cases, lawsuits, and trials are to immediately cease and desist, right? Which would mean that everybody in jail needs to be released from jail because they were all put in there from a corrupt corporation. If you happen to see a courtroom or organization which has the United States flag with a yellow fringe is working under the corrupt corporation. So that's another buzz term. The yellow fringe, okay? The different flag. This is another buzz term. They're using every single buzz term that they could use. That's how you know this is a well-crafted psychological narrative. If you watched President Donald J. You know what? I think that they have all the spelling errors in it to make it look like it's not from them, right? What if this is from Space Force or the psychological department in the military? They would literally make it look like some normal person wrote this, and I wouldn't put it past them. If they're the military doing psyops and everybody's waking up to stuff, they have to do something to this level to continue the psyop. There's no other way to do it. There's no other way, because we all know. So it's just so complicated. It's complex. Anyways, they're trying to say that everything needs to be shut down because Donald Trump is he's the real president and everything's corrupt. So if he's the president of the United States, then he's the president of a corrupt corporation. So how does he even have any power? I don't understand. If it's a corrupt corporation and he's the president of it, it literally makes no sense because he's the CEO of a corrupt corporation. So how does he have power? Because the military has power, and the only reason they have power is because they have more guns than all the people here. Again, I don't know. It's hard to word this right here. It's hard to even put this into words. Basically, this says that even sheriff departments and all law enforcement are to stand down immediately. It's saying that Listen, the president of the United States of America does not have more authority than county sheriffs, right? So no president could ever tell a sheriff to do anything. Seriously, the sheriff's power trumps Trump. I'm sorry, it does. Anybody in the presidential position has no more power, has less power than a county sheriff. I promise you. So if there's executive orders or martial law, your sheriff has the ability and the authority and power to stand up to it and say, no, we're not doing that here. Thanks. Have a great day. You keep going down here. It says Canadian, Mexico, and Australia and all other islands have been part of the United States since 1871, and you're now learning the truth. It's all part of the Great Awakening. So in case you didn't know, now you do. Here, I, Princess Diana, faked my own death, right, to expose the real crimes being committed by the so-called British Crown. I am the commander of the United States Space Force. Okay. Oh my God. Combating anti-Semitism. Let's not even get into that, but I'm sure that's gonna tell you most people is gonna tell you probably where this came from. And if you can put that together, then you can understand how deep that corruption goes, right? Yeah. Strengthening American leadership in digital financial technology. This is just simply trying to paint the new digital currency in an amazing light, and the only way they can do it is by calling out the bad guys and saying they're going to be the good guys, replacing the bad guys system. It's complete and total BS. Complete and total BS. That's all that is. It's so strange because if you read this here, by the authority vested in me as Commander-in-Chief by the Constitution and laws of the United States of America. It's like this document is speaking as if it's Diana and then speaking as if it's Trump, right? And then there's so much intelligence behind what they're saying and then so much retardation behind how they're saying it. This has to be a government psyop. It absolutely has to be. Who else would have the balls to impersonate the United States Space Force? Seriously. This basically says that anybody helping these foreign powers is committing treason, right? And I don't know how I missed it, but it says here, let me find it. Oh yes, underneath the fog. I'm sorry I missed it. Let me just read this whole thing to you. Many of you have been questioning the fog and the white particles that are left behind. This titanium dioxide has been added to the fog. Space Force will show you who the enemy is behind the poisoning, and this will be televised worldwide in the emergency alert system. Come on, it's what we're all waiting for, right? And they just happen to have the magical words here. It's going to be televised. Come on. All right, they had me probably waste over an hour of my time between narrating this, calling everything out, and now I'm gonna have to go edit this and get it out. I think this is complete bullshit, but I think that this is made by not just your average Joe. Look at these. These are pulled off Google. Again, this is how the psyops would be nowadays. They're going to make it look ghetto. Like you can see the box of this photo here and how it's cut off by the other photos. That's super ghetto. But that's some shit they would do. This I think is an official psyop. This is heavy. This is going to do some work to the movement. A lot of people are going to share this and not even read the whole thing and just think that it's proof that Trump is the guy that they say is. And then when actual smart people, leftists or people on the right, smart people on either side, when they read this, and they actually read this, even people sharing this without fully reading it, you're going to feel real stupid after, I think. Oh my God. Anyways, this is GK with a D Hub. Just wanted to brighten up your Friday or whenever you're seeing this. And I had to obviously touch base on it. So there it is. It is what it is. Stay frosty out there. And honestly, if this is legit, this is a psyop, this means martial law and mass arrests of everybody like me and you is right around the corner. Okay? So stay vigilant. Don't get comfy. Don't get happy just because it looks like everything we've been wanted is happening. Come on, we're not stupid. We're not dumb. We're on the edge of our seats. It looks good. I'm enjoying the show. But what the fuck is next? What are they going to do when they make us participate, huh? Stay vigilant. Stay frosty. All the love in the world. GK out.